So again, good afternoon. Welcome to Microsoft Cloud Office Hours. My name is Ryan Cady. I'm a partner sales executive for our U.S. SMB&D business representing the East Coast. With me is our partner technology strategist, Jeff Stoppel. We will be discussing for you today Skype for Business. So all of the tremendous things that Skype for Business can help you do for your company, the great opportunity that's out there for you to capture when it comes to unified communications, or as we're calling it now, universal communications. And then we'll run you through some of the feature sets and let you know what's on our roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months. So we'll give you a good idea of what's out there and what you can expect from Microsoft for the next year or so. So with that, why don't we go ahead and kick it off? And just, in general, Skype for Business has been a long-awaited opportunity for Microsoft. In 2011, Microsoft purchased Skype, and we've been producing this great product called Lync for about 10 years. So really what we're looking at with this rollout that we're calling Skype for Business is the marriage of these two really fantastic products. So Skype being a tremendously ubiquitous consumer product. Everyone knows Skype. Skype changed the way that people interact across long distances. Not only, the VoIP calling option of Skype, but also the video calling and creating more of a palpable environment when you're communicating with someone across long distances. Microsoft Lync has been doing the same thing for about 10 years now. So Jeff will take us through kind of the way that Lync has transformed himself from Office Communications Server to our previous version of Lync 2010 and Lync 2013, and now into this new branded version of Lync, which we're calling Skype for Business. Just one really important point to point out here is Skype for Business is not a big transition product-wise. It's a really great branding opportunity for us to integrate the Skype brand into Lync. But don't think of this as a tremendous switch or a brand new product that we're gonna integrate into your business. It's more of a platform change, UI change in some cases. But Skype for Business is really a marriage of the two, the Skype consumer version of the product, and then the Lync product of 2013. So just to level set, that's what we're looking at with Skype for Business. And when we talk about unified communications, there's also this buzzword going around called universal communications. And universal communications is the next step in unified communications. So when we talk about universal communications, we're really talking about branding the unified communications across all the different aspects of business, right? So no longer is a user only tied to their business options or, a big enterprise version of this type of service. They're also taking these types of products home and using it on a personal basis. And that's what makes the Skype and the Lync interaction and combination of product bases so fantastic. We've got these two really great universal platforms that we can marry and take the best parts out of both of them and combine them for a tremendously universal product. So when you hear this buzzword, universal communications, really universal communications has 5 really main points. So when we talk about universal communications, it's global reach throughout the cloud. We're talking about video everywhere. We're talking about the ability to work across all devices, and we're talking about ubiquity. So universal communication is the new buzzword, and this marriage between Skype and Lync is going to create this great universal communications platform that Microsoft is rolling out, and actually has rolled out now. So you've got the opportunity to get your hands on Skype for Business now, and Jeff will tell you about some of the features and product sets in a minute, and where you can go to get the bits and bytes. You'll see that rolled out over the next, actually started on April 14th, so we're seeing the bytes roll out now, the bits rather roll out now. So as we continue along this process, we'll see more and more of our end user base on Skype for Business. From our partner community, what's really the market opportunity for UC, whether you call it unified communications or universal communications? There's a tremendous demand for this universal communications market. We're looking at about $20 billion worldwide across all segments. So the focus of this call will be more of an SMB strategy. But from a worldwide perspective, there's about $20 million out there. 70% of customers and partners have or are planning UC deployments. Now, that's a tremendous jump from the previous year's survey. This comes from an Information Week 2014 State of Unified Communications survey. The same survey in 2013 showed only 38% had deployed or are planning on deploying. So we're talking about a tremendous jump in the amount of folks that are interested in using UC in their business. And you know, the cost savings, everything that comes along with integrating UC is really tremendous. So the more news and the more marketing that's gone into UC, the more adoption and the more integration into our daily business we've seen. And 62% say the reason that they're using this is for improved employee collaboration. Excuse me, tongue twister there. When we talk about employee collaboration, Jeff's going to give us some great feature sets on video, on voice, on sharing, whiteboarding, all that kind of great stuff that goes into Skype for Business. And of course, we've got our diverse deployments, right? Not only can we deploy on premise, but we can also deploy in the cloud. And capturing that cloud opportunity as a partner is really, really going to have your business striving. When you're looking at why universal communications is a great facilitator of communication, 78% of people that say they collaborate with partners or colleagues are located somewhere else in the world on a daily basis. So I think about this from my own personal perspective. In the East Region business, we're located all up and down the East Coast. We have folks that are in Rochester, New York. We've got folks in Atlanta, folks in North Carolina, folks in the DC area. So we're really integrating with people and working with people day to day across the Eastern Seaboard, where getting together all the time really isn't manageable. 4 or 5 information workers surveyed said they talk to the same folks on a daily basis and use this unified communications platform at least once a week. Now, not only are we using this a lot, but we're using it in different fashions too. Folks aren't sitting at their desktop all the time now and taking these meetings and using the web conferencing options just from their laptop or their desktop PC. They're also using these from mobile devices. So integrating across every device is going to be crucial to a successful universal communication strategy. So let's talk about why Microsoft for your UC strategy. Not only are we successful and have been successful with Lync over the past few years, but there's also a tremendous ROI on integrating these products. So we're looking at a 14-month payback period once you integrate Lync for customers. Now that's for on-premises solutions. When we talk about a cloud solution, the ROI, the payback period drops even lower. 89% of U.S. enterprises are including enterprise voice in their Lync trials. What that tells us is there's a lot of desire to be able to integrate VoIP into their current network. And 90% of those Fortune 500 companies are using Lync. So we've got a pretty solid product, and we've got a lot of great companies using it. Just for a further 2 or 3 points on Microsoft and why Microsoft when it comes to your UC strategy. Again, 38% of U.S. enterprises prefer Microsoft for voice more than any other vendor. We're placed in the Leaders Quadrant in Gartner's 2014 Unified Communications and Telephony Magic Quadrant. So what that gives us is a little stamp of approval that says this technology is hot and Microsoft is doing a great job with it. And Microsoft Lync voice adoption is accelerating and notably shifting the global telephony competitive landscape. That's a quote right out of Gartner's Magic Quadrant survey. So we're really getting high praise from all the research industry studies, not only Gartner but also Forrester as well. And last but not least, before I turn it over to Jeff to go through some of the feature sets with you, Microsoft is really delivering all the tools that make your meetings more productive. So not only are we talking about, Skype for Business as a standalone product, but the way that Skype for Business integrates into all of your other Office applications. With Microsoft Office 365, we really deliver to you that condensed productivity product that is going to help you and your end customers get the unified communications piece that you need, the communications and collaborations piece that you need, and really everything you need to get your work done on a day-to-day basis. So that's why you should choose Microsoft. That's why universal communications is something that you should look at and invest in. Microsoft is a leader in all of the research industry's magic quadrants, and we deliver it in a really, really great way. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Jeff Stoffel, and Jeff's going to go through some of the features and product feature sets of Skype for Business with you. Jeff, take it away.
Great, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, so let's get started. One thing, that Ryan alluded to that I'll touch on a little bit more is really when we look at where Lync has come over the years. I mean, I was involved with Lync many, many years ago in the early days when, I guess it really was at Lync, the first version of Live Communication Server, the evolution from that when we switched it to Office Communication Server and then on to Lync. So it's been a gradual transformation of how this product is branded as well as how it operates in our customers' environments. Certainly when we were at Lync, it was a very, very powerful enterprise-based tool that was, scaled from tens of thousands of users all the way down to just, the smallest of SMBs as well. And it was adopted widely. But what we really have seen is also a product in the market called Skype that really has taken that consumer base and taken that by storm. I mean, when I think of Skype, I always think back to going on vacations and having the ability to Skype with people. I mean, I would be walking around in a hotel and you'd see a couple of people in the lobby Skyping with their friends. So when people talk Skype, they really do talk about connecting people in their personal lives. There's over 300,000 users on Skype, and there's been over 1 billion people that have used Skype. So it really is a product that has a good track record. It's got a good market share as far as name recognition. And what we've really done with the combination of Skype for Business is taken all of that branding that's already been done for us with Skype, as well as that user interface that people are familiar with and like to use. And we've taken that to the Lync world where we've got the enterprise-grade capabilities, security, encryption, all of that stuff that we know our business customers need. And we've coupled that with the advanced features of that product with that user interface of Skype. So I think what we're going to see as we go forward is really that the best of both worlds with this marriage of two products. So when you look at what's really changed with the Skype interface, obviously we're using it here for this meeting. Many of you are already on it, but some of the things that I always like to call out that I really like about the new interface is the notion of the call monitor. For those of you that have used Lync for many years in the past, it's been a situation for me anywhere where I'll be on a call or I'll be on an IM and I'll do something else because I'm multitasking and I lose that box, and then it's time to end that call and I have to dig a bit for it. With the call monitor, and this is a feature we brought over from Skype, it's always front and center, right? It's always on your dashboard, easy to get to, it's easy to unmute, easy to click to hang up. So I really like that feature, and there's many, many more. And that's what you really see with this is we've really rebranded and brought those best user experiences over to the Lync world. Another thing you'll see that is very powerful is the ability to use the web app. So if you're bringing in people from wherever, they don't have to be a member within your organization. As your customers are looking at deploying this solution and using it for inviting participants outside of their own organization, their own Office 365 Skype environment, maybe they'll invite someone that's not on Skype, and they certainly could use that web client as well. What you've got here, a view, is a Skype window and how we can manage the content, how we can attach attachments. I think we've had one of our participants ask today, can I download the slides? We had uploaded it for the purpose of presentation, and then we said, they're downloadable as well, so let's just add it as an attachment as well so people can go ahead and grab that. Again, very easy to do with the new interface. There's not all of that necessarily hunting around for where do I do that some of us may have experienced in the Lync world. Again, going back to video, we've got the ability to have 5 active participants in the gallery, so you'll see 5 people's view or 5 people's video screen or streams as they're talking and communicating, so you can get those facial gestures. Once we go beyond that, we'll see just images of their picture as well, and then as they talk, they'll pop up into that speaker gallery. Again, now we're going into some of the enhancements we've made, again, hitting on that H.264 scalable video codec. The reason I like to bring that one up, and I think it's so important, is the fact that this really allows us to then start bringing in other devices that aren't necessarily Skype for Business devices, and we'll talk a little bit more when we get into different devices that connect with Skype. Obviously, peer-to-peer calling is a great feature of Skype. It allows us to quickly communicate with those that we're on a conversation with. Maybe you start with an IM with someone. Obviously, you can escalate it to a video call, escalate it to a phone call, etc. And again, Skype makes that easier, again, with this interface and keeping it front and center. One of the other things that I think is really useful with the new Skype for Business client, and actually this rolled out, I believe, starting in December, but how we integrate now with the Skype environment as well. So we have access to the full Skype directory, and that federation already exists. So not only can you communicate with all of these other Lync deployments that you're federated with or other Lync customers out there, but you can also now connect with the Skype world as well, the Skype directory. So that's all part of the solution. Another nice feature that's fairly new, or that is new, is the ability to switch devices easily within the experience. Again, this I find extremely useful because I'll be perhaps on a speakerphone because I just grab a call real quick and I haven't had the time to put on my headset, but then I want to switch to a headset because I know the quality is going to be a little higher. So I can go ahead and switch on the fly from which device I'm going to use during that call while I'm in the process of being on that call. Another nice feature is our health monitor, which is front and center when you look at the interface. And what this gives you is an idea of how the network quality is before you get on that call. So if you're going to have the example I'll use that I run into all the time is in my house I have 2 different network access points, and a lot of times will jump on calls or video conferences with Skype for Business, and my laptop will be connected to one or the other, and one or the other will be stronger based on where I'm at. So if I notice my network health monitor shows that I don't have 5 bars, much like you want to see on your cell phones as well, I'll realize that I'm connected to the lower floor access point rather than the upstairs one when I'm upstairs. So at that point I'll go switch over before I actually make that call. Had I not had that network health monitor, I might have tried to make that call and not had as good a quality as I could have had I switched access points. So again, a lot of these experience features have been built in and improved with this new Skype interface. We talked a little bit about the Silk codecs already. Again, that's optimized for unmanaged networks, and it's been time proven with our from our Skype environments. Another nice feature I always like to bring out is the notion of anywhere access. We've had this with Lync, and we certainly have this with Skype for Business as well. No need to VPN in. Wherever you're at, you'll be able to connect to the infrastructure, whether you have it on-prem or in the cloud. Of course, if you're doing an on-prem deployment, there are some more things you need to configure to expose it. However, certainly if you're using Office 365 with Skype for Business, all of your end users will be able to connect with that seamlessly without having any sort of a VPN on their client. Another thing I like to bring up for partners is really when you're working with your customers and you're starting to deploy Skype for Business and they're looking at, maybe they're going to start with the IM and presence, they're going to start adding in video or audio as time goes on because it's a natural evolution of the product, as well as it just makes sense because we have that capability. They're going to want to start using devices that really can help them ensure quality. So it's a great add-on opportunity for those of you that do sell devices and hardware. A great opportunity to sell video cameras along with that Skype deployment or speakerphones, etc. So what is the difference between our on-prem, or what's changed with the on-prem solution as well? So what we're going to see with the new branding, or the new server role, I should say, of 2015, is that we're going to allow additional features. Obviously, we're going to now support SQL Server always-on support for a higher level of availability should you need that. In addition, it's important to note that we're not going to require any new hardware profiles for for Skype for Business. So it will be pretty much a one-for-one replacement from your Lync Server 2013 to Skype for Business 2015 on a hardware platform. Again, that native video interoperability with VTCs. So if you happen to have a customer you're working with, they've already invested, let's say, in Cisco Tandberg units, that is something that you could then integrate with a Skype for Business deployment on-prem. And then in the cloud environment, which is what most of us deal with, and is the direction obviously we're going, all those features we've had before with Lync carry over to Skype for Business. Again, as Ryan had alluded to, it's primarily a branding and UI experience change at the first rev. But what's important to note is the PSTN connectivity that's coming later in 2015. Getting a lot of interest around this particular topic. And by that, I mean public switch telephone network, or that ability to bring a phone number, a customer's phone number to the the Skype client, and be able to leverage that as their true phone PBX replacement, or however you want to phrase that. But that is coming. Rollout starting in calendar year 2015 here in the U.S. What we'll see midsummer is a technical preview that we'll have a number of clients be able to sign up for, and then again that rollout starting here towards the end of the year, where they'll actually be able to port over DIDs or numbers, for example, or purchase additional numbers. And again, that's coming over the year, and then additional features over time. So there is a roadmap slide that we have up here, and a couple that we'll talk a little bit to as well. So I think, Ryan, at this point, we'll flip it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, and fantastic job. So just to close, I do want to leave some time for Q&A. But just to close here, really, there's a ton of people endorsing this product, not only from a partner perspective, but from a customer perspective and from a research and analysis perspective. So, when you have a minute or two, we'll make this deck available. You can download it now, but I'd encourage you to look through some of this research, not only from, a Gartner or an IDC or a Forrester, but also directly from partners' mouths and end customers' mouths on how they're using Lync in Skype for Business. So really take some time to dive in there and check out what's new and exciting, and how these big companies have used Skype for Business and Lync to really further their business. From a road mapping standpoint, we've got some things rolling out over the next calendar year. So general availability is here. April 14th was the first date where you would see some of that available in Click to Run. And then as we move along throughout the rest of calendar year 15 and into calendar year 16 and beyond, you'll see us integrate more and more really advanced features into Skype for Business. So this is by no means our start and end point. It's really just the kickoff. So stay tuned, and you will have this slide in the deck as well. Migrating to Skype for Business is easy. Here are the steps. Basically, if you're not on an Office 365 or a Lync server now, the encouraging motions here are to go out and experience Skype for Business either through an Office 365 package or through a standalone package. Upgrade to Skype for Business server if you're on an older version of Lync server or on a hybrid network. And if you're on Office 365 only, make sure that you remain on Office 365 and you check out all your meetings and you run all your meetings with Skype for Business. So no matter where you are, there's an opportunity to get to Skype for Business and check it out, whether you want to do it just on a trial basis or if you're ready for production. Please feel free to get in there and get your hands on it. I would say, if you do like these types of talks and these types of environments, we host these cloud office hours every single week. Next week, we'll be doing an Office 365 mech demo. So that's a really great and exciting opportunity for Microsoft, where you can get your hands on this great portable kit to demo Office 365. The list goes on and on. We've got a ton of great topics for you to join us for. Tuesday 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, 1 to 1:30 Eastern time, and depending on where you are across the country, that time will change. But please join us for more topics. They're fantastic topics. Skype for Business, I think, is a very encouraging piece of our business, and I think it'll only get better. So with that, I think, Jeff, what we'd like to do is, I realize we're at time, but we do want to open it up for questions, and Jeff and I will stick around for as long as it takes to get through any questions that you may have on Skype for Business.